My name's Bradley Newton. This is my wife, Ashley. We've been at Immanuel for 12 years, I think. Went there for freshman year of college for me. And we have 2 kids, Malachi Newton, our son. He's 6 years old now. And then we have Lily Newton. She is 4. So...
For me, I think I knew we were belonging. I started to pick up some of those moments when we were going through life stages. We had some things happen early on in our marriage. We lost a child. We had a miscarriage. And that started to bring out IBC as a whole, not necessarily a small group, but there were people in the church that came out that we didn't even know had experienced the same thing that we had experienced. And it started to develop a deeper community for us as a young married couple going through loss. And I think it has progressed to seeing community with people that you're vulnerable with, of relying on and being bearing their burdens as well, of eating together, hanging out together. Like, they're some of the first people we contact when good things are happening, when bad things are happening. It's family. That's really what it is. I think when I feel that I belong the most is when they're family. And I think that's how our small group, both of them, have developed into just being family, wanting to be with each other, wanting to raise our kids together, wanting to share funny stories together. That to me was, okay, this is real. Like, this is fellowship. This is true church action going on. Like, this is where we do belong in that sense.
Yeah, definitely for me, when I felt like when I started belonging was when I didn't want to go to just straight home after church. I would, go around and meet new people at church, or the other people would come up to me instead of just like, oh, church is done, hop in my car, go back to college, or, just go home. And then the aspects of like Thanksgiving dinners, like I actually wanted to come to these events. I wanted to go and fellowship with people. Because before I didn't feel like that. Like I didn't have that sense of belonging somewhere. And with like people reaching out to me during like, hey, do you want to help VBS? Do you want to help lead?
Yeah.
Or, can you help out in Sunday school or something? It's like, oh, like people care. Like they want me to help out. They want me to be there. So that's where I felt like I started belonging.
I think the one thing that I realized that we were missing by not attending a small group was accountability for our marriage. Like, yes, we have mentors, but it's different when you're in a group setting. And when we started going to small group, to a community small group, it really, I think, stretched us in a good way. Like, we would come back talking about what we studied. We would, put the kids to bed, and then it became our nighttime routine of talking for about an hour or so about what we learned in Scripture, what questions we might have. We started talking about, the research. We would start researching things on our own and then come back together. And it just, I think that made our marriage flourish even more. And also, I think I saw Brad grow in his role as the leader of our house, of pushing us to attend more things at church, to be more involved at church, to going to Sunday nights, to, taking leadership with doing our young adult small group. And not that that wasn't great, not that he wasn't a good leader early on, but he's now a much better leader and a better father and a better husband and just a better man overall. And I just saw that with the more we were involved in a small group, because he had men pouring into him. And so that accountability for communication between both of us, I think, has grown with attending a small group.
Being a part of a small group, the Lord blessed us when, well, it was, I don't know, about a year or two ago, Malachi broke his arm at school. And that was a hard.
Yeah. I don't know, when you have kids and they get hurt and your family lives far away, it's hard to know what to do. And I'm not huge on hospitals and things of that sort. And so Brad, was taking care of him the most while I was here at home, and we had small group people just come by and, help me clean the house. Honestly, help clean Malachi's room to get ready for him to come, help get, pillows to make sure he was comfortable after surgery. But then the other thing was, one of the nurses was a member of our small group who helped discharge Malachi. And Caitlin, she was just so kind. And it was comforting, I think, for us to know that someone who loves the Lord was also loving Malachi. And then later on, while he was home in recovery, people were, the Bacons came by and just dropped off toys for Lily, because knowing that Malachi was getting so much attention, Lily was feeling left out. And so it was just the thoughtfulness of helping take care of us while we're taking care of our sick kid. And that's just one instance. I know we have gone through a lot of things in our lives that people at IBC in our different stages of small groups have just blessed us with, having children, showing up with dinners, but then also being shoulders to cry on in seasons of grief and seasons of depression and seasons of change and heartache, that they just showed up. They just called, or they sent a card, or, they've given us freedom to cry in small group during prayer time, and then just encouraging one another. We had flowers dropped off the other day just because I was having a really rough week at work. When you work with students, you hear all of these stories, you hear all of the hard things going on in their lives, but it's tenfold because you have so many that you're trying to take care of. And so they just saw that and dropped off flowers, and they know I love flowers. And so I think that just meant a lot, because they know our likes, they know our dislikes, they know what goes the furthest by just being present and not judging us by Brad being at the hospital and me being home taking care of the house, trying to get things ready. There was just understanding with that.
Yeah, we've seen the Lord provide and bless us when we lead our Tuesday night group. They come over to our house and we fellowship over dinner first before we do it. And our kids just love everyone who comes over. And they want to get man, and when we go to church, our kids just run to the front of the pews and say hi to everybody. It's
they wouldn't have that if we didn't start building those relationships. And I think I've seen the Lord provide, because I have no idea how we feed 15 to 20 people. I just have no idea with how we feed it with our budget. It's literally the loaves and the fishes. I am a firm believer that the Lord has somehow stretched our budget to where we're under budget almost every time, even though we're feeding multiple people, actually multiple nights a week. It started with Mondays having college students over, and then those college students ended up graduating but still wanted to come hang out. So I'm okay, how do we transition? So we feed, sometimes 10, 15 people on Monday night, and then it's the same thing on Tuesday night. And the Lord has just provided in a huge way financially that in that sense, but then providing big brothers and big sisters for Malachi and Lily to learn and to connect with and to feel safe with and to help us steward them well, because our goal as parents is to share the gospel with our children, is to hopefully nurture them into their love for the Lord, and being a part of a small group, but then leading a small group selfishly has impacted that growth. Because, I mean, the other night, Lily is sitting at a table with Jacob and Tucker and Zach all by herself, and she is in heaven. She loves them so much and just loves the attention, but they give it to her too. They show her that she can admire them and she can love them back. And there's a trust there that not a lot of children experience. And I think the Lord has provided us with people that can help us raise our children up, because raising children is not a solo thing. It is a community thing. And that's with our young married couples, young adults, and our seasoned parents. Like, it's a whole thing, because I still call us new parents, because we've never had an 8-year-old, we've never had a teenager, we have a 6-year-old, and we have a 4-year-old. And we are learning as we go. But yet having people who have experienced it, but people who haven't experienced it, it provides a whole new way of teaching and learning. Yeah.
We wanted to focus on a young adult small group because I remember, and I think you can attest to this, when we started coming out of college, there wasn't really any place at IBC to belong. Like, there was us and maybe a couple other people our age. And so we really didn't have that community back then, and we were needing something. And then we were just thrown straight into college or leading Sunday school class. And so we didn't really get that community. So we really wanted to focus on those students who are coming out of college, who may not know what to do. Are they going to go back home? Are they going to stay here? And we would love if they stayed here. Like, we would love if the church grows with that. And so we wanted to focus on that core group because there's a lot. And the students who are here in high school, when they come back from college, like, where do they belong then? Like, all of their friends might have left, and so we want to have a place where they can also come together with other people their age and in that stage of life.
I think another factor, though, is like, we love having people in our home.
Yeah.
We love providing. Because I remember when we were newly married, learning how to budget, learning how to cook meals, learning how to do those things. Like, yes, we both have wonderful families, but it was different when somebody else taught us. And so the hope was to also provide a community that could teach not just biblical things, but life skills. Because what ends up happening is Tuesday, everybody comes over, and then we congregate in the kitchen. And so they're either watching me finish cooking, or they're asking how can they help. And so we say, okay, I need you to do this. And it's just teaching service. It's teaching how to be better husbands and wives and men and women. And so there was using the skills that I know the Lord has blessed us with to be fruitful and multiplying within our church, within our community at IBC.
Yeah, that definitely helps me communicate with you, but then knowing someone's watching, like our marriage, but also showing them, like, hey, this is how you communicate with your husband, your wife, your husband. This is how you raise kids, And
so, that kind of factored into us wanting to support the mission and vision of IBC by starting a small group. And we are already, we have a lot of people in our group, and there's more people that we're reaching out to. And so we have already started discussing, like, what does it mean to multiply? How do we do that? How do we do it effectively?
Yeah.
And so
we physically can't fit that amount of people in this house. So,
which is a huge blessing. Like, it's a beautiful sound to just hear conversations, glorifying conversations with our children involved. Okay, so then how do we replicate that? And how do we encourage our current group to then multiply out. And so we're already talking about identifying another leader. And I think even having a smaller 10 to 12 people in a group is beneficial, and sometimes more beneficial than having 20 to 25. Because, and this is what another person in our group said, in order to have a healthy small group, you have to be vulnerable. And it's easier to do that with a smaller setting. But then also inviting other people that aren't a part of IBC. It's so much easier when you belong to a small group in a home because it's not in a church building. And sometimes that dissuades people from coming, but they're more open to it if it's in somebody's house. And so we've talked about, even with our current group, of, hey, we've seen these people at church. You should go invite them. You should reach out to them. You're in the same stage of life. Invite them to come. Or, we've even heard of some other people in our group inviting people that aren't attending IBC to come. Hey, just come check it out. Because it's fun. It's real. They've grown already from it. And so, yeah, multiplying is already a conversation. And we just started, 8 weeks ago. So I think that's a great, healthy problem to have. And I'm excited to see where the Lord's going to take it, but then also hoping to raise up another leader and to see where they're going to go with it will be huge.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are scared to split because they're like, I've done life with these people. Like, I want to hang out with them. But to get more people involved, you have more people that you can hang out with. And you don't have to end your relationship once you split. You can always, meet up with that small group and go out, have a big picnic or something. Like, you guys can get together at some point. And I think that's what we need to share with our small group of, like, hey, when we get to that point, not right now, like when we get big enough, it's okay to split. It's okay to reach different people, and we can always come back together at some point if we have a bigger house. Yeah.
I think encouragement to participate in a small group would come from, it's biblical. I think you see that throughout the whole book of Acts. And you see Jesus even do it with his 12 disciples. Like, there is community, and I think it's required of us as Christians to be in a community. Yes, our church as a whole is a community, but there are so many in our church that, can you be vulnerable with every single one of them? No, you can't. Can you, call somebody up to come babysit your kids because they know them and you trust them? Like, yes, you trust the people in our church, but it's different when you are belonging to a core group. It's not a clique. I think that can be dissuading to some people, that's not what it is. A clique is completely different. A small group is growing together, living together with the same goal in mission in mind, connecting to a much larger group. And that you are not an inconvenience either. That when they invite you, they mean it. They want you in your home. They want you to be a part of a family. They want you to know that you can rely on them to be there for you. And I would encourage someone who is not a part of one to be a part of one. I think it is, when we say, a commitment to Christ is a commitment to the local church, that's a commitment to a small group. It's so important. It's so healthy that, we just talked about it in our small group. We were going through the book of Galatians, and we were talking about fruits of the flesh and fruits of the spirit. What you feed into that root system matters. And if you are not feeding it appropriately with devotion, with prayer, with community, then you're not going to produce the fruit of the Spirit. And so being a part of a biblical community is feeding that that tree. It's feeding that desire to want to know about the Lord. It's feeding all of those things that Christ wants from us. And so it's biblical. You should do it. I don't think there's an option. I think the Lord commands it in a way. And so it's healthy. It's good. It's good for you. And why would we not want something that's good for us?
I would encourage people to get into small group, because when you're going through life and you have these hard times, like, you can feel alone in that. And that can really hinder your relationship with Christ. That can really hinder your relationship with other people. And these small groups are a good reminder of, like, you're not alone in any of these trials that we have. We can share with small group, or anyone else who is in our small group. They have trials, or they've gone through something similar. They can share with us. They can help us through that. So I think knowing that you're not alone is a great, healthy thing in general, and just encourage you to not be alone.